Before we start, boys, just a quick disclaimer. Heroes is in alpha. This is not representative of the final game. These are simply my first impressions of Heroes of the Storm. Oh, what's up, boys? JC here, back with another one. And after weeks of complaining, of begging Blizzard via every social media you can think of, they have finally been kind enough to allow me into the Heroes of the Storm alpha. I'm so grateful. And more than that, I'm having a good time, and I'm having such a good time that I decided to go ahead and throw one of these together. This is my first impressions of Heroes of the Storm. There is a lot to love here. And some people have referred to Heroes as casual, and even if you don't, agree with that, you can kind of see where they're coming from. There's no gold, there's no last hits, there's no actual economy. Anytime you're gaining power, it's from experience, and this experience is truly socialist. It is shared by the entire team. Now I found that means it's easier to be carried. It's a lot harder to carry, like by yourself, just go out there and do like individual plays. But the big takeaway here, the real meat of the issue, is that it means you can be a full-time gamer. And honestly, I have had the most success where as soon as the game starts, everybody just 5-mans an area, especially on some of these maps where the objectives are available right away. Your best bet is to jump ahead early and stay ahead as long as possible by just sticking as a ball of 5. It seems like whoever wins these games is mostly determined by the map objectives, so it behooves you, once again, to set the tone right away and not let up. And speaking of the maps, we're going to talk about the maps for a second. Now normally, in all the MOBA games I played, Dota LoL, even like Dawngate or something, the only thing that has ever really done it for me has been, the 3-lane, 5 versus 5 traditional MOBA thing. Other people have tried with these objective-based maps or other things, like Dominion comes to mind, and really have failed to gain a foothold. But with Heroes, I feel like all of these maps are equally good. There's not a time where one comes up and I'm like, oh, not this again, or oh, this is the worst one. Like they're all really well designed, and consistently good games are brought out because of them. Definitely a lot more variety. If anybody has any criticism about this genre, it's usually about the map variety. Most of these games use literally just one map, so it's nice to see a little bit more variety in the environments that you do battle in. Will certainly bring some of the people who haven't tried these before into this one. The real stars of any action strategy game, multiplayer, online battle arena, what have you, is always the characters, right? If your characters are not up to snuff, then you really don't have a game. That's been quite possibly the most impressive thing to me about Heroes, how Blizz has, in a genre where everybody kind of borrows from one another, crafted some truly unique experiences. There are some character archetypes that are completely unexplored territory, and there's some really elegantly balanced and creative kits. It's going to be really exciting seeing what they come up with further down the line. And I would like to most especially show some love to supports. They feel suitably strong. In Heroes, a few of them have, like straight up full-fledged spammable heals, like not something you usually see in the MOBA genre. And this can kind of be a little bit of a turnout, but what ends up happening is they achieve a middle ground between WoW arenas and regular MOBA team fights. Like fights are satisfyingly long, but they're never annoying. Now, the lack of economy and items might lead you to believe that there isn't a whole lot of variety to the game, and I am thrilled to report this is absolutely not the case. At level thresholds, your character has access to different talents. These talents augment their skills, their stats, give them extra abilities, what have you, and there are branching paths with these, and there's a lot of great synergies that enable distinct playstyles even with specific characters. So if you were to have two characters that are the same character on opposite teams that made different choices in the talent tree, they can still be completely different yet equally viable. This isn't always the case. Sometimes with some characters at certain levels there are no-brainer choices where one talent just seems so obviously better than the other ones that you have to grab it. But like I said, few and far between. And in a nod to Street Fighter, each character has 2 different ults to choose from. This hugely impacts gameplay, and like before, in some cases one ult will definitely be where you want to go, but it's very nice to have choices. So I am a big fan of a lot of the, let's say, innovations being made by Blizzard in the MOBA genre. I really like the heroes that they have. I really like how they have different maps that all kind of work, and I also kind of can embrace the positive side of not having an economy. As far as criticisms, I'm sure we'll notice more and more as we continue to play, but I mean right off the top, the game is only an alpha, it's not the most polished. With that said, it's pretty incredible how polished it is at this early stage, but you'll still have like games drop, like your moves not interact correctly, like just a few bugs popping up here and there. Other than that, I don't like how a lot of the warrior class has recycled moves. Like a few of the different characters all have a leap that they do, and in a game where everything is kind of unique, like consistently, it's a little grating to see everybody have like that recycled move. I mean, but it's really nice. It's really nice to have mobility. Speaking of mobility, I haven't really figured out like the move speed yet. I'm pretty sure that it's static. So if that's the case, everybody's moving at the same move speed by default unless they have a talent or they're on their mount, then that really inhibits what you can do as a melee. And I have found that sometimes you will struggle as melee. I guess that's why they need like all these jumps and gap closes built into their kit, because otherwise you'd just be chasing around ranged squishies trying to do damage. Well, my friends, that about covers the bases, and now it's gonna sound like the video's ending, but that's only because